Hi, I'm Sarah Meier. I'm the founder of Parents at Work. I'm a wife, mother, entrepreneur, and a passionate advocate for working parents and empathy in the workplace.
Hi, I'm Andreas Deck. I'm Head Culture Transformation at SIX. I'm a husband and father of 3 boys, and I'm an optimist. In fact, I believe hope never dies.
On your website, you proudly point out a whole list of what you're doing in regards of diversity and inclusion. So what is the reason for SIX to focus on becoming more diverse?
Well, I think there are many studies, and it's our conviction also that diverse teams, diverse leadership teams, but diverse teams in general, and I mean diversity in every aspect, so not only gender topic, just deliver better performance. So it's a matter of competitiveness. So diverse teams are more successful, and I believe diverse teams also attract more diversity themselves. So if you're convinced it helps your business success, it is sensible to have it as a strategic objective to improve.
Sometimes I'm wondering, what makes it so hard to become more diverse?
I think it's a combination of there's the legacy that we carry, right, about traditional roles. So there's that, and people talk about the glass ceiling, but I think sometimes also the jobs need to be attractive, right? So women are also looking at jobs and saying, like, do I want that role, and maybe not, because I want to have time with my family.
From my point of view, it is about deeply entrenched understandings of roles in the broader society. So I can give you an example. There was a time when, with our first 2 kids, when I was at home and my wife was working. So I remember very well the encounters, looks, and talks on the playground with the kids. So if you met some neighbors, for example, and they were just going like, "Oh, you have a day off today?" And I said, "No, I'm at home with the kids." And then, it's this silence and like this change of topic. So how do you like the weather today? It's just you can sense. There is a deeply entrenched understanding of what we value and how we think in the society. And I experienced it myself. So, and I believe that's the major driver. As a company, you can showcase, you can encourage, but there is definitely a topic in the broader society that influences a lot, and probably as a company alone you cannot change it.
It's like our conditioning, right? Yeah. You said that earlier. we're influenced by the experiences that we have, and we were brought up in a family like that, and so we think this is what we need to do to be a good parent, or this is, I talk a lot about that as well, as like feeling like stuck in traditional roles. I think for me always, how can we give people the freedom to, I don't know if people even take the time to think about what is it that I really want and to even question it. They just go along with this is the role, but maybe I want to have a career, or maybe my husband wants to spend more time at home, and how can we get into a culture where that's accepted, where people don't judge? Right, and that there are no stereotypical, that you can do whatever you want. Do people actually think about it? Do they actually make conscious choices, or do they just move because that's the conditioning that they have?
Yeah, it's a just point. Yeah. But things are changing. So I can give you a really interesting example of my sons, particularly of my eldest son. He's 14. So now, with this time where we celebrate the 50 years of voting rights of women in Switzerland. So every evening we watch news together. And it's so interesting to see his reaction on these old videos. He can't believe that this was like something one could think, So
but
he hears
people
this.
Would actually say that.
Yes, so it is so far away from them. And so for me, it's interesting to observe with our kids, they have no access to that thinking. And it's, 50 years? Yeah. So to them it's strange, different world, and they just shake their head.
They don't even think about it too much, right?
Yeah.
They don't give it much ponder.
Yeah.
They just move on and think that was the olden days. You guys are weird and
I think at the very beginning he even thought this is a mock-up or something, but then I said, no, it's for real, it's...
That's good. And so, Sarah, you have your company, you founded Parents at Work, and you work together at SIX with this program. Tell us something about your program. What is it about?
So I think it's really about empowerment. And if I think about the different stakeholders in the program, so the one is the parents, and it's about creating that safe space for them where they can reflect, where they can think about what do I want, how do I want to live, how do I want to parent. I think even just creating that space for them to do that, and then, and making them feel supported and like championing them to follow that. Because that's really what we want. We don't have this is how the model should be. We want them to feel well, so empowering the parents. I mean, on the other side, of course, our other stakeholder is the company. We're empowering or we're enabling companies to build up their own sustainable programs. So it's their program. So the peer coaches are employees at the company. So it's about creating connections and collaboration between employees as well.
Can you explain a little bit further how the program works?
Yeah, so for instance, when we decided that we wanted to collaborate together, then I come into the company and support them to build up a coaching team, a peer coaching team inside the organization. So we recruited coaches who agreed to volunteer their time. Well, they were actually parents, and we train them up with coaching skills. And then we communicate. I think that's a big part of the program as well, is communicating it, sharing it with the employees. I think that's also a message that a company sends to the employees, that we value our employees, we care about you, we want you to feel well, that's why we're offering this program.
And what do you expect to achieve with this Parents at Work?
I like to think that we can bring some more empathy to the workplace, that people can just understand what it's like a little bit to be somebody else. I think that's a benefit. I think we want to make people feel that work can be a safe place to be a parent and not have to apologize, and to live your style of living and be okay with that. Yeah, I think the judgments we make on ourselves, the judgments people make on each other, especially around parenting and work in that combination, just add so unnecessary pressure and stress and to parents that they just don't need. I think if we could just be a bit kinder, I think it would be a much better place for everybody.
So is peer coaching just a way to get cheap coaching?
No.
All said.
Clear answer.
Yes. We have seen that employees really like to sign up for programs when they can be connected with a colleague. There's that real advantage of being connected with a coach who actually knows what it's like to work at SIX as a parent. That personal experience and insight brings a lot of empathy. They can share a lot of experiences. There's a lot of benefit. And then, of course, there's the benefit for the company as well, as building up that resource and making it sustainable. So I'm a big fan of peer coaching because of the impact that it has.
And what's the reason for SIX to run such a program?
I think there are a couple of reasons. So I was excited pretty much from the beginning because it fitted so well what we want to achieve. So one, it's a peer coaching program. And that means it's by our people, for our people. And that fits well with our community idea. So we want people to be on the playing field. So we want people to take ownership in every aspect. And so it is great if people serve other people in the organization and create community. Second, we have to stop think about advancing gender equality, we have to stop thinking this is a women topic. And another aspect I like about the Parents at Work idea is it clearly brings out, hey, this is a family topic. It is a topic for men. And so I like this more inclusive thinking of working moms and dads, and how can we talk about it? How can we create an environment that helps? And thirdly, for us, it's a great opportunity to really give a token that working moms and dads matter. And we are committed to being an attractive employer for working parents. And at the end of the day, our whole society builds on families and kids. It's like the smallest cell. So we believe as an employer, we should really strengthen and encourage combining family and work. So it's a range of things that we like. And last but not least, it's close to my heart as a working dad. So with my three boys, so I exactly know what it means to balance, family and work. And I know the doubts. I know the feelings, and that's important.
It's not just about breaking down old stereotypes. It's about giving people the freedom to choose for themselves. Mm-hmm. It's not about saying this is the only right way to do it. Mm-hmm. It's about giving people the opportunity to choose. Mm-hmm. Whether the husband works and the wife stays home, or whether my husband stays at home and I work. I think he would. It's just about having the freedom to choose and not having to apologize for it. Because like I said, there's a lot of judgment going on, and it can be whatever you want it to be as long as it works for you.
Is this program also needed because companies are not parent-friendly?
No, not necessarily at all. So a lot of times when people join the program, they say like, oh, what are the topics? What do we cover? And then what I say is we cover whatever is most important to you, because it's a one-to-one coaching. So it's up to the parent to bring up that topic. But then, of course, sometimes we have people who say, so now the coaching is all focused on, how am I organized at home and where's the work aspect? And can we really talk about that? Is that then relevant to a Parents at Work program? And I think whatever enables a parent to feel well benefits the company. So it's really whatever. But it can also be really focused on work. Like sometimes it could be, how do I make sure if I'm a part-time mom and I come back 70% and I'm focused on getting my work done, and suddenly I don't care about self-development, I'm not going to conferences, I'm not making myself visible, I'm not networking. So it can be around that, like making sure that you don't fall into that kind of trap. It's whatever is important for you. And we have kind of tools where they can do like a full analysis, looking at the work side and the home side to see, where the gaps are, quite proactively often, to find out where the gaps are before they actually happen. So not just in response to where the challenges are, but actually looking to see where the challenges could be and making sure we're prepared for that so that things can run well. Because in the end, we just want parents to feel well at work and at home, so they can focus on their families when they're at home and focus on their, on their work and be productive when they're at work. Mm. Right?
Yeah. And just to add, I think just sponsoring it is a strong sign as a company, because it's a statement you make. Working moms and dads matter. And so if we look into the potential in the labor market of maybe moms or dads who ask themselves, to what degree should I return to work? I think we have to tell them, you are welcome, and we want to create an environment that works. And for me, it's just one of the elements how we can foster that.